don't design it for yourself. Like, don't design it what you would like. Don't. You're not the hero. You're not the hero. Okay, the client's the hero. Your job is to just show them the way up the hill, and be transparent and guide them into making smart money decisions. Because before we leave this podcast, we're gonna talk about the bad word, the money word, because it's on everybody's mind.
Welcome to the playground, the lab, the area to explore the world beyond interior design. And beyond, because there is a real impact and value of our beautiful profession. And today, we are going to make a sidestep, a step into the outside world. We're going to open the doors into the garden, into landscaping, into the favorite playground of the extremely successful entrepreneur. From the very first moment we met, it was fun. So I was really looking forward to this moment. He's not just a landscape designer. He's an artist who sculpts outdoor spaces into breathtaking works of art. He can talk for hours about this unique approach to landscape design, which goes beyond aesthetics to create functional and inspiring outdoor environments. So he turns ordinary backyards into extraordinary retreats, into outdoor entertaining spaces filled with lush greenery, well-crafted hardscapes and waterfalls, and natural swimming pools. Those are my favorite. His journey from starting with a wheelbarrow to becoming New York's premier landscape designer is a story of dedication, of passion, and unwavering commitment. So I'm grateful that he reached out to us to share his entrepreneurial journey, highlighting the challenges he faced and the lessons he learned along the way. Although it's not interior design, I'm pretty sure you and me will gain so much valuable insights today into what it takes to turn a passion into a thriving business in the competitive world of design. So please welcome him, Steve Griggs.
Thank you, Mark. That was a great introduction. I think your accent elevates the introduction even more. So glad to be here.
Yeah. Live from the other side of the pond, you called it last time, right. The first one. Yeah.
New York, you're from Denmark, correct?
No, not Denmark. No, I am Mark, so I understand the confusion. No, Holland, the Netherlands.
Holland, okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The originator of the tulip.
Yes, well, yeah, maybe that's Turkey. We're not absolutely sure about that, but for you is Europe one piece, right? Europe is such a small. It's like one country for you. So
New York. It's like New York.
It's always, yeah. Hey, Steve. So often we hear designers say, "I know that I have more in me. I know that there's more out there. I know I can help more people. But how on earth do I do that?" You're a premium landscape designer. You become one, from wheelbarrow to one of the New York's finest ones. Well, what's your secret? That's what we want to know today, because your work is featured in sources like Forbes, Business Insider, the Wall Street Journal. You're on the list of America's fast-growing private companies. So we're excited to pick your brain today. Tell us your secret.
I am very transparent. I am from New York, so I'll lay it all out here. The secret is, you hear it, there is no secret. There is no secret. You just, I've been doing this 40 years. That's a long time. Yeah. So, I don't give myself enough credit, right? I really don't. So I'm very hard on myself. But when you really look back at it and you say, wow, you've been doing this 40 years through the recession, through the economic times. I sat back when we spoke last time, I'm saying to myself, I really sat back and thought about it. How did I do it, right? So, man, it's really just a matter of showing up every day and just being consistent and persistent. That's really it. Like, that's it. There's no app, there's no Google, and just do what you say you're going to do. And that's it. I'm telling you, that's it. No excuses. Say what you're going to do, because that leads to referrals, and 98% of my business is referrals. So that is the secret sauce for sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably one key of the success. Well, we will find out later on more keys, definitely, in our conversation. I I know how you love to talk about your profession. So we go way deeper. I will get that. Let me first ask you, because you probably marketing is a valuable part of doing business, of telling your story, getting your story straight with your audience. You're talking about the people ask you to design dreamscapes. That's how you call it, right?
Sure.
Yeah. What is it? Because it has the word dream in it. What is it that people are really asking for then?
So even whether it's interior design, exterior design, when people say to me, all I need to listen to is, how they want it to make them feel, right? So that tells me everything. Just tell me you want to feel energetic, you want to feel calm, you want to feel like you're on a resort. I just listen for those buzzwords. Dreamscape is, what are you dreaming about in your backyard? Everybody sits there dreaming about what it would look like in their backyard, and I look for those words that what they want it to feel like, not look like, feel like. So when they go outside, they say, "Oh, I feel like I'm on vacation." Boom, I know. Okay, where's your favorite place to vacation? And you just keep asking questions, and then really they're designing it for you. They're designing it for you. You're just putting the pieces in place.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I love that you say that. Yeah, well, one thing we have to know, you make it look like so easy. That was my first impression when we had the first conversation. Like it's so easy. You take it so flat. You make it so simple, but it's really listening. And you talk about feelings and emotions. And most of the time, this is very hard. I can understand to because in fact we are designers. We want this ultimate emotions, tears, goosebumps, and everything. But on the other hand, you have to deal with all the emotions of the clients. How do you deal with those?
So I think the key is, like, don't design it if you're a designer, don't design it for yourself. Like, don't design it what you would like. Don't You're not the hero. You're not the hero. Okay. The client's the hero. Your job is to just show them the way up the hill, and be transparent, and guide them into making smart money decisions. Because before we leave this podcast, we're gonna talk about the bad word, the money word, because it's on everybody's mind. Everybody can design beautiful things, but let's talk about the money, because that's a whole nother topic of people's emotions, and they're afraid to spend it. It's a whole nother thing. So you really want to keep everything in check and be very transparent as you're walking them down the journey, because essentially you have to design something that's long lasting, that they're going to love, and then they're going to want to tell their friends about, because you're not the hero in this, they are.
Yeah, so very important thing as well. You're already taking care of the story that they will tell to their friends and family, what they are. It's literally the next step. I always tell lots of my designers in the mentorship programs and other programs, like, hey, don't focus on the moment that you left, that you are leaving, that it's finished, because then that's the official start of your product or service, right? Then you're done. Then if we had a magic wand, I was selling magic wands just to fix it once, and ploop, there it is. And then they can enjoy the new interior design, or in your case, the garden. So you're literally taking care of the moment after you left, right? Is that what you're, well, we already started to talk about the M word, but is that what you are selling, the moment after you created this dreamscape?
You want to design something that's long lasting, so you don't get the phone call saying this is broke, that's broke. You want them to call you up and say, wow, we just had an amazing pool party at my house. The kids brought the whole team over. We cooked burgers. So I'm selling memories, right? So, when you design a kitchen for the inside, everybody hangs around the kitchen. At least in the States, they do. They hang around the kitchen. Families, they're sharing stories. You're creating memories. So you're creating a place for them to create memories. It's not about design. It's not about design. Nobody cares if it's blue rug, blue, green, or orange. You're trying to develop so they can create memories for their family and friends. That's it. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, if you're here listening to the podcast right now, you're here live or just streaming it. This is why I love to talk with Steve, because we talk a lot about beyond interior design, this beyond level, because there are all the emotions and the impact you can create and the real stories, because we love to design. And we are most of the time we make the design so important, or we made ourselves the designers, like you said. We are not the hero. You started already the conversation with that. Very important. You're not the hero. Your client is the hero. So I really love it. You talk about this definitely about this beyond thing, the effect of what you can create. That's the impact you're going to create. All those stories.
Beyond design. Your podcast is beyond interior design. We're talking about
Yeah.
stuff that has nothing to do with design. I'm not talking about focal points and structure. We're talking about way deeper.
That's it. Yeah, that's why I'm so interested in the world beyond of interior design. But because eventually that is it. That's the whole point of our profession, right? We can create this. So yeah, I love that you're telling this. What I can imagine. There's not even. I never met one single interior designer that told me I don't want high-end clients. Everybody is craving for high-end clients. What is the magic? What is it? Is it just about the money? What is a high-end client for you? What's your definition?
So you have two types. You have so you need normal clients with jobs. The higher end client. Everybody wants the higher end job. Let me just be clear what a high end client is. The jobs are usually larger jobs. They take more of your time. They're more demanding. The margins doesn't not necessarily have to be as great. That's it. Sometimes you don't want a high end client because it's way more work than just a normal person who appreciates what you do. High end clients don't want excuses. They don't want to hear your stories. They want it done fast. They want it done right. They don't mind paying, but most importantly, nobody wants to get ripped off. That's it. That's how you treat a high-end client. Be very transparent with the high-end clients because they can smell the BS immediately. That's why they're clients.
Yeah, they know how to play the game. That's how I call it. They know how to play the game in life. So yeah, you have to pay attention to it, and you have to make sure you designed your business that well that, like you said, they don't accept the BS. So yeah,
be sharp.
Yeah.
They want answers. Don't try to fake the funk. Don't try to give them fake answers. Just deal straight because they're busy people, and this is why they called you. They don't need the headache. They got to go out. It's very simple formula with the high end client. That's how I would break down the high end clients. If you're not at that level, stay away.
Yeah, you need to be prepared for this kind of levels.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then another word that's part of most of the time it's a kind of dream word. It's almost like, hey, I have clients who want carte blanche. Does it really exist? Carte blanche.
What's carte blanche?
Like I have no budget. Do whatever you want to do. You're free. You're the designer. You're the creative. Do your job. And
everybody has a budget. I don't care how much money you have. I'm sorry, but everybody wants to know what it's going to cost, what it's going to look like, but I get it to a point where they trust me to make design decisions. I think that's a big difference. Hey, this is $5, but if I spend $50, it'll last longer. It's a much better product. They trust me to do that. Make wise decisions for them. It's not carte blanche. You just go out and go on a spending spree, with no regard to their money because they work hard for their money. So you want to, they really appreciate you really, digging deep and get them the best value. You want to value engineer each and every item for sure.
Yeah, digging deep, literally sometimes for you. Yeah,
absolutely.
Dig deep to design light. That's how we call it more often.
That's what we do.
Yeah. And what about the participation part, the involvement of a client? How do you see that process? Because it's harsh sometimes to deal, like I said before, to deal with all these emotions and excitement and maybe frustrations or doubts, fears about the whole design. Does it come together? How what's your opinion about it? Would you love to be involved? Do you love to involve them?
Well, yeah, because like I said early on, it's like they're the hero. You're trying to design something that they will like, that they will appreciate. But there's a fine line between the over involvement and then trusting me to do the job. You really want to build up that trust, because once they trust you, then they're not micromanaging. Then they're not pick. That's when things start to go bad. Absolutely. So you want to build that trust, and you want to, show them how you are the expert in your field, that you can show them the way, and then they're not going to learn everything that you know. You can't absolutely teach somebody 40 years of experience, a client watching, because that's when I've noticed, when they start getting too involved in it, it's never good. Never good.
No, then you have your alarm clock needs to go off, like, hey, there's something going wrong here. They don't trust me. I don't have the system set up. Yeah.
I've been there. I've been there lots of times. Lots of times. It happens. So that's another key takeaway. Make sure your spidey senses don't go off on these certain clients that tend to, but I find the higher end clients are very busy, and they just want to hire the right guy for the right job, and price is not so much as an issue. They don't mind paying the premium, but they want it done right, and because they're busy running their own life and business, and they don't have time to be chasing you around.
Yeah, that's the good news, right? So that's exactly what we experience lots of time. When they have the trust in you, you can create your own creative freedom, all the freedom in the world to work with them, because you need to put them as the hero, like you said. But then you have all the freedom and time to do your own job if they trust your processes, right? If they know what's your next move, and you can guarantee that, then they are quite calm to work with, I can imagine, and you can do what you love to do.
Absolutely. You want to set the process up, set the expectations up early on, like what to expect, what's the next, especially when you're working interior. If you guys are, I'm talking about beyond the design now. We're speaking about beyond the design. We're actually, the design is done. You're in the construction phase of it. I'm assuming your people have to be involved with some portion of the construction to make sure the integrity of the design is upheld. That's when it gets sticky. When the contractors are in the house, are working, and you've been there for 3 months, the newness wears off. They're tired of looking. You're tired of them. They're tired of you. It's time to finish up and move on. So another thing to keep in mind: they don't want you hanging around too long.
No, definitely not. No, we don't want that. We want a short, smooth design process for sure, and then that you can pass it on to the next people, probably the creations.
Isn't it kind of like with the design process? You want to make sure you have a good graphical representation of what you're designing, so when the contractors are doing the job, there's no change orders, there's no miscommunication. The key, everything starts with the design. You need a good design. It helps everybody stay on the same page. Much better.
Yeah. Well, happy to hear that. Yeah. So how do you deal with this unexpected challenges? So things are moving on the way. If something goes wrong, I can imagine your answer. Well, don't tell them BS. Don't lie to them, for sure. Tell them the truth. What's your strategy when things are going really, really wrong, in the wrong direction?
Very, very good question, because I decided to make lemonade out of lemons. A couple of years ago, we had an 8-foot wall fall down. True story. It fell down, flooded his pool. Mud was in the pool. Mud got in the house. Disaster. So I called him up, and I said, "You may not want to come home for a couple of days. We have a little situation here." It was his summer home. So I was upfront and honest, and that's it. Leaders lead. You rally the troops. You call the pool guy, you get the pool pumped out, you call the restoration company, you just deal with it, you get it fixed. And I assured him that I got this, and the conviction in my voice, and he knew that I was going to step up and get it done. It got done. Nobody freaked out. You just deal with it. That's what you deal with in a situation. That's how you deal, because it's construction, things are going to go bad. We rip out a gas line, you deal with it. Like, they're looking for the leader. Remember, they're looking for now you're got to be the hero. You got to like step up and get it done. That's why they're paying you the big bucks.
Yeah. So at the end, it's just a very big wall who fall down in the pool. You fixed it. Simple as that. Yeah.
It was, a little whatever, but thank God nobody got hurt.
No.
But they want to know that you got their back and that they hired the right guy to handle it. That's it.
Then a really funny thing that might happen when you have a bad experience with clients, but you fixed it really well. It changed. You became the hero when there was a problem. Most of the time you're like, oh no, this is not part of the of what I meant to do. But there is a problem, and at the end, they saw you being that hero, and they became such a raving fans because they saw how you handle the bad situations. When everything goes really smooth, there's always a strange thing in my mind. We have sometimes the best testimonials of people who experienced the bad stuff because they saw how we fixed the situations, and then they knew, well, they are the right party for me because something goes wrong in future. They know how to handle it, and they became even a bigger fan. That's have you created that with this client, with this big wall? Yeah, funny is it how that works? So this is literally lemonade out of lemon. Yeah,
lemonade out of lemon. Don't point the fingers. Don't say it was this guy's fault. Take ownership. Like, just, I will fix it. I'm the buck stops here. That's it. So in your mentorship group, the most designers, do they cross over to the contracting? Are they kind of project managing any jobs? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to see.
Yeah, it's really depending on how you design your business. We're a big fan of well, we call it the blockchain. So you're the designer, that's your expertise. You dig deep to design light. You create a wonderful design. You get the value for that, the trust, the expertise. Everybody's willing to pay you for that. And then it's up to you. Do you want to assist the construction phase, or do you have a really cool team with create managers and all the people, constructors over there, and they know exactly what to do because they are part of your company culture? That's the ideal situation for us, at least. Those are our terms, but I'm very curious how you organize that with this kind of design part and construction phase.
So I find that a lot of times that when we design the project, the client wants us involved in the project as much as, because contracting is a whole nother podcast. It's a whole nother animal. Like, but just the design. But I find that when you design the project, they want the guy that designed it to make sure it goes in as per design, and they'll pay you for that. They'll pay you to ensure the integrity of the design. You're not just going to take some plan and hand it off to some contractor and let them go out shopping for the cheapest price, because that never works. You need to really hold their hand, help them pick out the contractor, refer some good guys, so because the design is actually the easy part. Like, the install is the hard part, but it starts with the design. Good design equals good everything. So you give them a good design, they can give you a good price, they can firm up the price. There's not a lot of guesswork in there, so it all kind of goes hand in hand for sure.
Yeah. I was not aiming for completely handed over out to for other people, but you need to have this connection. You still want that. But the good thing is you can be on a designer spot, or the designer chair, in that case, designer stage, whatever you want to call it, in this construction phase. You don't have to be the one who's managing everything, but just they want to know, is he still guiding this? Huh? Is the designer in control? Is it exactly like the designer? Sometimes you just need kind of touch point in these processes. But I don't think you mean to manage the whole process, right? That you are the designer and the construction manager, right? Is that a good combination?
I've done it. It's not easy. We have project managers that separate the project, that I can hand off, and they can run the project with it. So we have like two divisions in one. We have the design arm, and then we have the construction arm of it for those clients that want us to oversee the project for sure.
Yeah, I was managing a lot in my first years as a designer, but I saw it kind of like learning how to design better because people had to understand my design, right? There was a kind of learning. I could do it, but it was very stressful for me at that time to organize all the. Yeah,
I think with all the years of construction experience that I have, I think it helps you be a better designer.
Yeah, that's what it did.
You know what works, because a lot of times I hear a lot of friction between the designer, the architect, and the contractors. Like, why does this guy design it like this? You can't build it. So you have to be able to design something that not only looks pretty, that somebody can build.
Exactly. Yeah. So sometimes you need some sessions with those guys who are really creating it, that they have their own thoughts. Like, hey, you can do it better this way, but let's save the concept in general, because that's they already invested in your design, and now the creation part is a different invoice. Let's call it that way. So they want to make sure all the effort was not for nothing, right? That they literally become dreamscapes in your place. That this is the dreamscape, but this is the actual landscape.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Well, unrealistic expectations and demands. Sometimes it can feel like that. Do you have a great example of, well, I know you create waterfalls and creeks or whatever. I think there's hardly nothing impossible for you, I can imagine. But do you have an example that people were asking you something and you were like, no way, this is...
No.
You just did it. You created it.
Listen, I can put trees up on 34 stories in New York City with a crane. I can build waterfalls and pools on a cliff. Most everything is possible, but pretty much at a price, right? Like I can put the pool on the cliff, but it's going to cost you X amount more because I have to chop the rock. I mean, we do a lot of that where, you live on a mountain. I have to put the hole in the ground to put the pool. So we have to hammer the rock out. We're doing a job now. It was like 50,000 just to take the rock out of the hole. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all relative. I mean, I won't do nothing if it's not safe because it'll also be designed by the engineers. It all has to work. But we're pretty much not afraid to, tackle whatever. Right. Because of the land is difficult, right? It's not like open farmland where it's flat. That sites are difficult. It's in the city. It's on the mountains. It's just, you have to kind of accommodate certain environmental issues to tackle the project.
So actually, anytime when people have kind of dreams, wishes, you're like, when it's the first time you need to do it, you're like, why not? Let's find out how to do it.
You got to be. You can't be wishy-washy. Absolutely, we can do that. No problem. Don't say, "Oh, I think we can." Let's see. You say, "Yeah, let me get back to you. I will do my due diligence, and I think we can get it done." Like, they want to make sure they're hiring the right guy.
No, you said it with the right words. Like, hey, let's see what we can do. Let's find out. Yeah, I will take my time to find out if this is possible. Yeah,
absolutely. Of course, we can do it. Don't. They want to know that you're the guy.
Yeah. So this is the proof. This is the proof. If you can manage it, you're the guy. Yeah.
You're the guy. You're the guy. They want to know that they're giving you the ball. You're the guy. Like, don't, wishy-washy. No, you're the guy. I got this. I'm in control. I've been doing this for a long time. You have the right guy. And that's part of that, building that trust, right? So they build that trust so once they begin to, genuinely trust you, but you have to perform on your word, right? You can't, if you said it's going to be done by Friday, you make sure it's done by Friday. Yeah. They don't want to hear stories. They don't want to hear, the guy didn't deliver this. Nobody cares. I don't care. That's it. That's the whole secret to everything. Really.
That's the whole secret. What's you told me the first time, what you told me, like, hey, why are you not doing gardens? I said, well, it's a different expertise. And you know what you said to me?
I forget.
You said a garden is just an interior design without a ceiling.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the same thing, but there's no paint on the walls.
Yeah.
It's the same. So, the flooring is the grass of the patio. The walls are like a hedge of privacy. The ceiling could be a tree that overhangs canopy. The lighting and the lamps are the same thing with landscape. It's the same principles. Exactly the same. Just different materials.
Yeah, so people that I do see, some interior designers or design offices, they have the garden and the house together. They combine this expertise, but sometimes they have trouble to sell it in some way or to organize it in a way. What's your advice on that one?
But there's
it looks like a turnkey solution, right? Like I can fix everything. Your complete residential living, outdoor, indoor life.
But keep in mind those that the knowledge I need to have for designing the outside is different than the inside. I need to know about soil. I need to know about plants. I need to know all that. That's a different set of information that I need. Same with on the interior. Yeah. I can't design. I have no idea. I couldn't design. I kind of get in principle, but I'm not picking out paint colors or couches. That's not my thing. So I stick to my lane and I team up with interior designers and then we go in there as a collaboration, because then the owner can get what they want. It's a harmonious unit between the inside and the outside. You don't want to have it one design style on the inside, one on the outside. It really needs to all go together.
Yeah, that's eventually their wish, right? That's what they're telling you. Can you create one zone out of my private residence, right? Yeah. So again, that's the, if you ask them why is that they want this unique, balanced environment where they can live their life on their terms, right?
Correct. It creates harmony. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. Then how do you find clients in this competitive market? That's another thing. We have innovation, creativity, but then another thing is always marketing. You're a creative. I know what you can create, but what is it? How do you do it? What's your strategy?
Listen, I'm 63 years old.
You have a network for sure. Yeah,
I'm a network. Doing it a long time. I learned the social media. I'm doing the best I can. I hire people, but they always seem to let you down a little bit. You know, I think when the push comes to shove, all that technology stuff and all that is great, but I think it comes down to trust, building your referral base. I mean, really, when push comes to shove, I can always go to my Rolodex and create some work somewhere for sure. That's the value of, you know, everything we spoke about early on, and the trust and saying what you're going to do and doing what you're going to say. That's money in the bank. That even if the internet goes away, you still have that.
Yeah, that's very powerful, and I can think a very safe feeling, that you know when the internet is. I can imagine a lot of interior designers that do have another opinion because you don't have the other network; they only have online. Yeah,
they only have online, and that goes away. Like, you know, I still have my people I can, you know, go to.
Yeah, build on, build with. Yeah, wonderful. So let's get back, because it's now you're like I said, one of the fast growing constructive companies in the US. But how does it start? Because there are most of our listeners, they do have a small interior design firm or a creative firm, graphic design, landscape, architects. Maybe they were one of two or a team of five. How does it become on a size that you were like, hey, this is what's going on here?
As far as what? The size?
No, yeah, the size of your company, or you just started with designing your first garden, right? Let's really go back to the first garden. How does something develop like this in such a, well, amazing business you've built?
You know, again, 40 years is a long time. Like,
so you just need to feed it.
You just need to keep going. And one job, the first job was planting 2 trees. The second job was 4 trees. The next job, somebody asked me to do a patio. So it just kind of developed as this thing. Now they're asking me to design entire micro resorts in their backyard. I mean, it didn't happen overnight. No, it didn't happen overnight. Like,
no,
you know. And again, I don't give myself enough credit. I really don't. Like, I'm very humble about it. It's just another job. I don't know. It's plants, rocks, dirt, mulch, water. It's the same 7 or 8 things on every job. That's really all it is.
Yeah, it sounds, every time it sounds easy when I speak to you. I'm like, yeah, that's just it. That's just it.
I try to tell my people, guys, we're not doing brain surgery. It's I'm playing with dirt, rocks. That's really it. I play with dirt and I play with plants and spray paint, because I spray paint that. Like, it's not rockets. It's not that hard. They make it hard, and the project management, they just make it hard.
So do you think a lot of people make it hard for themselves with businesses and their passion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it hard. Yeah. Overcome. Can't make decisions. Can't come up with a timeline. I saw a couple chat from Laura, I think, was coming up with it. She had a question there about the fees. We'll get to that. But yeah, you have to just be organized, and communication is the key. That's really it. Whether you're doing a small job or big jobs.
Right. Yeah, it was about, yeah, okay, about the volume. So, well, just to phrase it, you talk a lot about emotions. That's where you touch with your design, right?
Yes.
You started with it, but it was so obvious for me when you said it, like all the emotions that are involved. What is it that they want to feel, not about what you make, but how you want to make them feel.
Sure.
This is your starting point.
Absolutely. How do you? I don't need to know you like blue or red or green. We'll get to that later. Don't tell me you like yellow flowers. We'll get to that later. Right now, how do you want to feel when you go into the space? That's question number one.
And then, yeah, just take me over your process. Then we go a little bit more deeper. After you know the kind of feeling, you're discussing some elements that are connecting with this feeling.
Yeah, we'll talk about some elements. Some people like certain things, and we'll get to that. Like I try to keep them in the moment because sometimes they want to talk about flowers and there's a hole in their backyard. Like we're not at that stage yet. I try to keep them zeroed in a little bit, right? There's a couple of good questions there. Realistic timelines. That's all good. Those are great questions. Whoever that is, those are real questions, right? Like, so you want to manage the expectations.
Yeah. Again, you're just like, yeah, this is it. Manage the expectation, and you're done with your story. This is always your strategy. Yeah.
And realistic timelines. Don't tell somebody you can get it done in 2 months. No, but it's going to take you 6 months. Like don't tell them that. If you say you're going to be done in 3 months, you get done in 3 months. Obviously, during COVID and all, it was out of our control because of the material, but you need to stick to those deadlines at all cost.
Yeah. What is success called for you, Steve? How do you describe success?
I don't know. What do you mean? How do you describe success? I mean, do what I want when I want. I don't know. Pretty much what I do now.
Those are yeah. We talk about most of the time like designing your own business, but designing your business around your lifestyle and not the other way around. So we are defining the terms, your own terms. If you know I'm not the best person in the morning, why should you schedule morning appointments with clients? Right?
Listen, no, it's not about you're going to work your ass off. Okay. I don't care if you think you're going to run a design business, construction business, whatever. Don't think you're going to hire people and you're going to sit on the beach. Doesn't happen. I get up every day. I still grind 40 years later. That's it. There's no, unless you're Mark Zuckerberg or Twitter or one of those guys, it ain't not in this business. You better go find another business. That is one thing for sure.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
No. But you have to love what you do, right? So it kind of works hand in hand. So think about it. I get to spend your money and building cool shit in people's backyards. Pretty cool job. I'm outside. I mean, yeah, those are the good days. Those are the good days when it's a nice weather. You're outside. Like, wow, I got it. And then there's the bad days when the wall falls down. It's raining. So I guess the moral of the story is there's no perfect scenario. Like everybody has pluses and minuses. Whatever field you're in, whatever job you're doing. It's work, right? It's what it is.
Wonderful. What's next for you? What's on your bucket list?
Honestly, we're moving towards design, moving more towards design, and you are my first guy across the pond. Like that's it. I'd like to go more global in designing, more global, because it's the same material. The plants are different, the materials, but it's the same concepts. Like traveling, because I'm in New York. Like it's November now. It's getting cold. Like we shut down for Christmas, and it's cold. So, but there's other parts of the world and wherever you can just go and design, and that's kind of that's next for me. That's where I'd like to get this thing for sure. I just show up, little spray paint, and I do what I got to do, design a couple pictures, and but the construction end of it is hard. The actual managing of the project, that's tough part of the job for sure.
Yeah.
Designing is the easy part. The implementation, the execution of it is way hard because you're depending on a lot more people and a lot more other outside circumstances. So it's hard.
Yeah. There you need to be the real business owner to get them aligned and to collect a team that everybody is in your. We go the kind of. You need to have a kind of design relation and principles, right? Because they need to know what your higher purpose is of your design, and everybody needs to get that. How do you work with your team on that side? Because sometimes it's hard. You have a great carpenter, you have a great gardener in your case, but then they need to know what the higher purpose of the impact you want to create with your design. How do you get them on the same page? Are they really direct communicating with your clients, or is it always you that does all the communication?
No, most of the contracts I've used for like over 20 years, so they kind of know how I work. I mean, they know how I work.
Yeah, so you created a team. Everybody knows this is Steve Griggs.
My God, say we use like 20 different companies. Like I'll know which contractors to send to certain jobs, which foreman to send, because the clients kind of need a little more hand holding than others. So you have to kind of, just finesse that through. Like you need to know your clients. You need to know what subs to bring. The contractors or the trade partners is the key to the whole job. Honestly, like the design is great, but the guys that do the work, mad respect for, crazy respect for, hard workers, by far, like hard work.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. I think it's the same with interior design. I'm always like, oh, they have to do the job. So with months creating and all this, or ordering stuff, organizing on time, managing the whole team. This is the real job, yeah. And then we have a kind of
easy job. That's the easy job.
Yeah.
Go on and hang sheetrock or build a rock wall or dig holes all day, and that's hard work. It's not mental. It's hard work. It's physical.
Physically hard work.
When it's 98 degrees out, that's hard work for sure.
Yeah. Well, you're to the final conclusion. Your bestseller, your book is called Straight Dirt. Cool title, because it's totally you, with the subtitle New York's City Premier Designer tells it like it is. Well, I think that's what you did today. You're in the podcast. Just tell us like it is. I'm always like, okay, is there coming more? No, this is his answer. This is it. This is the key. This is the truth to it.
This is it. That's it. There's that's from New York. I was born like this. My father was in construction business. He worked for the union. So it's always, tell them, even if it hurts. I tell clients, I think also with the design, like, I don't pander to, like, just tell them what they want to hear. Like, if it doesn't work or doesn't look good, I will tell you that's going to look like crap. I'm sorry. It's going to look terrible. And they really appreciate, like, I think for your people in your group and all that, like, don't do that. Like, don't pander to the clients. You want to hear them out and all, but if you feel strongly about a design decision, you got to stick to your convictions and tell them why it's a bad choice. So you do more like coaching interior designers. I wish there was somebody like this when I started 40 years ago, because there wasn't. I had to learn my own way. I had to learn the hard way. Like, if someone like you came in and said, I can coach you how to be a great interior designer, I would sign up immediately, because it would save you so many years of heartache and money loss. And like, oh man, like, it's so easy now. You just jump on a Zoom call with you guys and you can guide them through your whole process and follow the blueprint. Like, it's here. You got the instruction manual. Why beat your head against a rock for 30 years like I did? Whatever. I mean,
same like Sven and I did my campaign when we finished design school. We were like, okay, and where's the business part? There is something to fix here with dealing with all these emotions and the business side and money wise, and we had no idea. We know how to create designs for our own purposes, but not even for real clients, So we are like, okay, we need to educate ourselves big time. So we spent over 100,000 euros, dollars over the years, but you will earn it back for sure, because like you said, there are blueprints out there, and now we're sharing our blueprint with our business, and you can copy paste it and make it your own, put your own personality into it, and we unlock your own personality on that way, because it needs to fit you. There's copy paste. Well, it saves you, at least it's the highway, right? It's a highway to somewhere, and then you can decide what you like when you go to your own destination.
Yeah, pick what you like, and you know, you're not gonna, you know, pick what you like, make it your own, and move on. Take the highway. Why take the back roads? Take the highway.
Yeah.
Why? It's a no-brainer for sure.
No. Well, you have a gift. You can everybody can download your actual book Straight Dirt as an ebook. We will put it on our website.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a hardcover. Obviously, I can't ship the hardcover, but you have the link. Send it to whoever. It's a hardcover book for the coffee table. If any of your interior designers are out there, and the book was huge for us. Like, the book is huge. So if you're going to do anything, once you finish taking your classes and your courses, and they move on down the road, and they have a big enough portfolio to create a book, everybody should have a book. It sets credibility up. It makes you the expert. It's a slam dunk.
Yeah, I remember my first book, and it was not even an official book. It was the times that you can create with your holiday photos. You can create a book. You know, there was a first hard copy. Yeah, you just go to a kind of supermarket and you can print it. And with my first kind of high-end clients, I was like, I need to have a book. So I took my best project so far and my best stories, just kind of quotes and topics in it. And I ordered this book like it was like I had hundreds of copies of it, and I just gave it to them as a gift, and they were like, "Wow!" And they really liked this book. It got me to another level, and yeah, then you could raise your value. Yeah,
you come with your value. I mean,
you got the trust. Yeah,
you got the trust. We spoke a lot about that. I mean, you know, this was really good. I enjoyed talking to you, but like, you know, you have the whole. Then you have the business side of it. You have the actual designing and this, or then you have the whole marketing side, and that's a whole nother.
That's another thing. Yeah,
that's another thing. You need clients. You need business. You can design. I don't care if you're the best designer. You need to make money. You need to get clients. That's how it works. For 20 years, I'm like, oh, I just love what I do. The money will follow. It never followed. It never was there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, run it like a business. It's a for-profit business. Designers are for-profit. Don't undersell yourself. Charge what you're worth. Because that's what I feel is a lot of designers. They don't feel like they charge what they're worth, right? It's a mind. It is. It's in your head. It's who's gonna pay me 10 grand for a design? Like, you know, it's really crazy. But when you build up the value of it and how much money they're gonna save when the project goes on time, on budget, the value is like you taking your mentorship program. The value is there. It's kind of obvious.
Thanks, Greg, Steve, for your story. I love your honesty, your openness, your simplicity. Sometimes, like, it's just like that, and I think it will definitely open up a lot of minds, creative minds, that it like, hey, it can be that easy, but you need to use your passion and energy in the right way. And have your story straight, because that's one you created over the years. You have your story straight. That's why I love to share your book with the audience. They can see how you tell your story. You have a great one-liner, and I really like it. It's on the header of your website. Unwind and reconnect with the things that matter most.
That's it.
I love it, because it has nothing to do with God and design, with whatever thing, but you connect with what matters most, and
yeah,
it's up to them what matters most.
Friends and creating memories, that's what matters most. I mean, that's it.
I love that. This is beyond. This is the impact you create for them, and this is the life you can design for your customers, and that's there's the fulfillment, right, and the higher purpose of creating that. Yeah,
that's it.
It's the kind of power we have as designers and creators.
That's it. When somebody comes out and says, before you built my pool, my husband couldn't swim, and now I built the pool, he can swim. That was very huge. I remember. I'll never forget that. Like, wow. And then he, you know, he's 50 years old. He never swam, and then he go to the pool. Now he can swim. You know, so yeah. So when you look at it that way, there is a higher purpose, and you do create a lot of memories and stuff like that. So there is some good. There is a lot of good when you design the proper project. Over above the money, over above that. So there is a higher purpose here for sure.
That's it. Form follows meaning, like we call it.
That's it.
Thanks, Steve. Please stay here. because for the people that are joining us live, we have a short Q&A. If you're happy to do that, just for a few minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, and for the other ones, thanks for listening, for joining us again on the live shows. If you want to join a live podcast on One Moment, please have a look on our website, instituteofveteraimpact.com. There it is, and as well if you go there with /Steve, we have the landing page ready there with more information about Steve and his book, Straight Dirt, and everything else you want to know of him. So thanks for that, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for listening.